Starfield hype has reached critical levels ahead of its launch next week, so can you really blame a guy for stealing 67 copies of the game oh, wait, sorry, I'm just kidding. Oh, it turns out, in fact, yes, that is a felony. Well, today I learned. I'm Linus Sebastian, this is Game Linked, and these are stolen copies of the game listed for sale by Darren Harris of Tennessee, who was arrested last week for theft, but not arrested for posting 40 minutes of gameplay to his YouTube channel, which could arguably cause more damage in the form of spoilers. It's a good thing too, because Starfield fans don't need another reason to be frustrated. First, it was the game's title screen, which according to this Twitter account, reveals a development team that simply didn't care. And then now, you've got angry gamers discovering that landing points on Starfield's 1,000 planets have defined boundaries, so they can't even walk around the whole thing with the obscene amount of free time that they apparently have because they're upset they can't do that. If this is a major point for you, Star Citizen somehow just hit 600 million in funding, so hey, there's a great option if you prefer a space game with a mind-blowing inability to set boundaries for itself.
Greatest
cool.
game ever.
Former Canadian national treasure BioWare has announced they are laying off 50 employees, while 2 major games are under development. One of these victims is Lucas Christensen, the lead writer behind the first 2 Baldur's Gate games. According to BioWare alum David Gator, Christensen had been there so long that they called him Writer Alpha, though apparently BioWare itself now seems to consider him more of a beta. Mary Kirby, a writer for the Baldur's Gate spiritual successor series Dragon Age, is also being canned despite creating fan favorite character Varric Tethras, a dwarven rogue by night and an equally dwarven crime noir novelist by day.
It's a very dwarven thing.
It's also weird that while the 4th Dragon Age game is currently in the late stages of development, BioWare felt that one of the setting's most seasoned writers was no longer needed. In a statement, general manager Gary McKay said of the studio, "We must shift towards a more agile and more focused studio. Obviously, these 2 old fogies were just slow and way too distracting because of their decades of experience and critical acclaim."
Baldur's Gate 3 is so popular because of the microtransactions.
Armored Core 6 was released on Friday to great reviews, and while FromSoft infused the game with its characteristic gloomy, depressing atmosphere and ridiculously tough bosses, there's just enough metaphorical daylight in the game to question whether FromSoft is going soft. Tell them I wrote that, Linus. Armored Core 6 has a lot more checkpoints than the Souls games, and it lets players tweak their loadouts when they die so they don't have to replay the whole mission, and they don't even lose any currency. On top of that, the game's mech editor has allowed players to have what is probably too much fun recreating virtually anything in mech form. I mean, we're talking a John Deere tractor, Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, and even Homer J. Simpson. And to add insult to injury, there's a character named Rusty that refers to the player refers to the player character as Buddy, inspiring fans to proclaim deep, undying love for the only FromSoft game character that has ever been nice to them. Who could have thought a developer would get so popular making emotional abuse simulators?
Oh, you play games for babies?
Now it's time for the Rapid Morsels, brought to you by dbrand and their ultra premium Steam Deck case, the Kill Switch. It features a deluxe, super grippy texture and a modular back panel with a kickstand that doubles as an SD card holder, because every one thing should be 2 things. Tired of Valve's boring travel case? You can get the Kill Switch travel cover so that your Steam Deck can survive all the trials and tribulations of public transit. Visit IamVeryShort.com and enter the code GAMELINKED to get 10% off your entire purchase.
It's a great website.
Linus, this is very important. Whatever you do, do not say this thing that we wrote. Okay, no problem. Instead say, Riley, Jacob, and Jessica are the greatest writers at LMG, and I love them all very much.
Oh, what?
I murdered it.
So close.
Yes.
Microsoft has once again killed its $1 14-day trial for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate just before the launch of Starfield. How suspicious. This was first noticed by the polls at gaming site XGP. Kind of amazing that metal rods with no handles can type. Is that? This isn't the first time Microsoft has pulled the deal before they launched a major game. They did the same thing before Redfall launched back in May. It's just that this time it's with a game that people actually give a shit about. Speaking of which, reviewers can't seem to heap enough praise onto Sea of Stars, the Chrono Trigger-inspired RPG made by Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest developers. I mean, look at these numbers. 10 of 10, 9.5 out of 10. Yeah, it made you feel like a child going through a thrilling journey of emotional self-discovery through a magical yet dangerous world. We get it. Enough. Wait, you wrote that? No, I'm so excited for this game. I want to hear even more.
Yeah, I know.
I will not be reading the IGN review before I do so, because reportedly it includes spoilers, which we've already established is one of the most serious dangers to modern society. Space strategy game Homeworld 3 will be introducing War Games, a roguelike co-op mode for up to 3 players for people who have friends with an S. I just thought it was a show from the 90s. For the rest of us, the game will still have multiple PvP. You can't laugh.
Well,
You broke me.
what does it mean?
For the rest of us, the game will still have multiple PvP modes and a story-focused single-player campaign when it releases next year. Blackbird Interactive has also committed to official mod support through a partnership with Mod.io. That is so cool. We'll just have to wait and see if you can mod your way back into speaking terms with your 2 best friends after your 11th total fleet wipe of the evening.
A lot of people died.
Season 5 of Call of Duty Warzone will be adding 3 new purchasable operators. This is news. Mace from Modern Warfare, rapper 21 Savage from Music, and Lara Croft from Tomb Raider. This is pathetic.
Raider. She's wearing her original costume.
Featuring a posh archaeologist in a tank top and booty shorts does not make a ton of sense for a semi-realistic military shooter, but hey, then again, past characters for sale have included superheroes, Aztec warriors, Snoop Dogg, and then a truly shocking number of furry characters.
The metaverse is alive and well.
And Twitch streamer Labat let his chat control his World of Warcraft character, which turned out to be a great tactical choice. In a week of constant play, the chat got the character past level 60, sparking what I can only assume is a wild race to find the chatters responsible and appoint them as the collective head of the UN or something. I mean, the level of human cooperation that was required for a group of people to successfully not just coax a character forward, but also mind the gap. Instant Nobel Peace Prize. It's in the mail.
We give out to them.
And we're not gonna give you a Nobel Peace Prize, Nobel Peace Prize if you come back on Thursday, but we will give you something even better. More gaming news.
The value has gone down big time.
Nobel Gaming News Prize.
Everybody's got one.